Motivation is a person's desire to accomplish a task. As students, every day we're bombarded with homework assignments and tests, and at times we don't really want to do them. So I wanted to research how to increase our motivation. Motivation is directly linked with our emotions. If we're happy, we're more motivated than people who are not necessarily as happy, such as they're being sad or depressed. So the key to becoming motivated is the same as the key to becoming happy. So one way we can increase our happiness is through physical exercise. Studies show that athletes are far more motivated and happier than people who necessarily might not have as much exercise in their day. This is because of a release of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that promotes happiness. Another way we can increase happiness is simply by talking with people that we respect or we love. For example, the next time you're working on a test and you can't seem to focus on it, or studying for tests, just pick up the phone and call your grandparents. By talking with them, you can actually increase your motivation as well as your happiness. And finally, the last way to increase our happiness is actually by giving to others. Studies show that by giving to other people, such as homeless people or kids, we can actually make ourselves happier. Now, another way we can increase our motivation is through competition. By competing with other people, we actually push ourselves forward, and this gives us a reason for completing a task. And the key to increasing our motivation is having a reason. So when we're competing with another person, it's actually right to compete with one other person rather than a group of people. Because if you try to aim and become like a group of people, there are going to be a variety of people that you're trying to aim to be like, that you'll actually end up being less motivated than if you were to choose one specific person and strive to be like them. Competition is like dominoes. When you compete with one person, this actually pushes a bunch of people around you to compete with one another, and by increasing your own motivation, you actually increase other people's motivation as well. Now, our bodies want to stay in what's called equilibrium, meaning that you don't want to be hungry, you don't want to be thirsty, you just want to be full all the time. So another way we can increase our motivation is actually by depriving ourselves of one of these. For example, when we're studying for a test and we just happen to be hungry, convince yourself that after 10 minutes of studying, you're going to go eat a chocolate bar and stuff along those lines. Another way we can increase our motivation is actually by thinking about the consequences as well as the rewards of every situation. This will give us a reason for completing a task, such as not being able to get into the college of your choice. For example, the next time you're doing a homework assignment and you don't want to do it, just think about the consequences, such as failing the class or not being able to get into a college of your choice. And another way we can increase our motivation is through spiritual and religious beliefs. Now, spiritual and religious beliefs, they kind of work along the lines of calming a person down as well as giving them a reason for life. And one way we can increase our spirituality is through meditation. By meditating, we can actually calm ourselves down and focus on one specific thing. And when we're calm and our mind is clear of all those useless stuff, such as social media and other stuff like that, we can actually increase our motivation. Another way we can increase our spirituality is simply by sleeping more. Studies show that individuals who sleep 3 to 5 hours are way less likely to function properly and have motivation than people who sleep 10 to 12 hours a day. And religion also plays a role in motivation. If we have a belief in something, not necessarily God, but just something like a role model or something, this can actually push us forward. This can make us strive to be like them, and it can give us a reason for life. A final way to increase our motivation is actually by eating chocolate or other similar candies or foods, because chocolate actually increases both your serotonin as well as your dopamine levels, which are both neurotransmitters. And serotonin, it actually increases a person's calmness, and when you're calm, you can focus more. And dopamine, it actually makes you more excited and more happy, and in return, this can also increase your motivation. So the next time you're in class and you're trying to focus on finishing a homework assignment or studying for a test, just think about all of these ways to increase your motivation. Whether it's eating chocolate or meditating, they all have beneficial effects on a person, and in return can really help increase your motivation.